say this. You let that fight go on. Joel Embiid's going to whoop that dude's ass.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Got that African strength.
Joel Embiid is a strong man. Poor choice of words. He's just a strong man. You could have just said it nothing like that.
I will say
He is, though. I'm just saying, dude.
I would venture to say that Joel Embiid's probably been in some real scraps.
100%.
And Cat, I would guess little to none. Probably zero.
Pretty sure Joel Embiid killed a lion with his bare hands.
Okay, now we gotta pump the brakes.
What?
You pushed it.
What? He's from Africa. It was a joke.
I get it.
That was a real thing his rookie season. People were asking that a bunch.
That's true.
He had to actually be like, no. He was like, that's not how my life was, you weirdos.
Yeah, you guys ever seen that movie Ghost in the Darkness with Val Kilmer and it was the guy that got cancer from eating too much box. He's married to Catherine Zeta-Jones. Michael Douglas.
Yes.
They were. It's the story about how their Val Kilmer is overseeing. It's a true story. He's out overseeing this railroad construction in Africa. I think somewhere in Africa. I'm honestly not 100% sure. I'm about 99.9% sure, but I digress. But my understanding is it's actually a fictionalized retelling of the events because the lions were not killed by Val Kilmer's character, but rather by Joel Embiid.
We got there. It took a
roundabout way.
We got there. Well,
I had to give the backstory on that.
I get it. You got it. Oh shit! What's up, guys? Welcome back. We are like a little over a week and a half into the NBA season, and shit's happening.
Yeah.
It's
too bad.
It's so fast. I've been so busy lately. I have not been able to consume like nearly as much of it as I thought. And I had I've been watching games. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I watched both games yesterday. But just dude, like I forgot how many games are just on.
That's the thing. That's the thing. It's like opening night, there's 2 games. That's to be expected. But then night 2, there were 11 games on.
11 games.
That's fucking hard to keep up with. You can't possibly watch everything. That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, I gotta get up in the morning. I can't be up all night. And like, it's and not even that. From like the hours of like 7 to 10, that's basketball time. But like, I can't adequately watch 6 games at the same time. I can't. You just can't do it. It's just impossible. I only have one television and a computer screen. That's it.
I also know that I'm getting older because that Lakers Clippers game, we get night 1. I was like, this fucking game starts at 9:30. I gotta go to work tomorrow.
I know, dude. I know, and I was so mad. I was so mad because I wanted to watch it so bad, but I'm just like, I gotta get up in like 9 hours, man. I gotta get the fuck out of here.
That's the nice thing about being here. The late game starts at 7:30.
That's crazy, dude.
My time.
That's gotta be nice. That's gotta be awesome.
It's wonderful. Sunday night football's over by like 7.
That's love, dude. Especially like
I watch a movie.
Oh yeah,
like basketball.
Sunday night football's over at 7. It starts at 7:30.
Yeah, for me that's 5:30. So
that's
like,
love, though, dude.
7 or 8.
Yeah, but it's still like that's love. Like with especially basketball season, like you get off of work early enough, like you get into like halftime of a basketball game, you can watch the rest of it, and then you're just watching basketball all night, and you're done by like 9.
It's part of the reason. I mean, this is different. Like, obviously, you're making the case for Nikki here, sure. But for me, living in Central Standard Time, which is, I'm going to go ahead and say, the best time zone.
Agreed.
Living in Central Standard Time, it is why baseball is so great because there's so many games during the day.
True.
You can just pop your headphones in, turn the radio on, if you're just plugging away at work, it's easy. I can't do that with basketball.
No.
And if you live in the Eastern Time, you really just go to bed late.
If you live in the Eastern Time zone, you suck.
Yeah.
You are getting up. You're getting up late and going to bed even later.
Well, even like tonight's the last game of the World Series, and it's just like, if you're on the East Coast, like the Washington fans, you're probably going to be up until 1:00 in the morning easily.
Worth it though.
Totally, if they win.
Look, I mean, it's not worth it to stay up. it's not worth it to stay up late and watch the Pelicans play the Grizzlies. Which you would think more Grizzlies games would be broadcast, like, you know, in a sensible time, given that Memphis is Eastern time. Is Memphis in Eastern time or Central time? It's Eastern, right?
I think it's Eastern. I know Nashville's Eastern. So
if Nashville is Eastern, then Memphis is, because Memphis is farther east than Nashville.
Yeah, I'm assuming Memphis is Eastern Standard Time.
I ain't no learned time zone man.
We know this. Well,
I always honestly forgot that Brazil is 2 hours ahead of us. Like, I just assumed it's.
Yeah, no, right? Like Southern America is one of those weird ones where it's just like, oh, yeah.
Because Brazil just sticks out so far.
Yeah,
you know? It's like
the other thing that's
South America. It's like the butt. It's like the butt of America. It's like the Western Hemisphere is dummy caked up. You know what I mean?
And now we lost the Southern Hemisphere listen.
Yep. I was gonna say that the other thing that's really funny is that
it was respectful.
Of course, yeah. Everybody wants to be called the butt of America.
No, I meant you know, a nice butt, like a Brazilian butt.
No, I got it.
To be honest, you know, most women want that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Nikki, you were saying?
Yeah, I was gonna say America's the only one that does, United States of America is the only one that does daylight savings time. So then things get even weirder when we switch time, but everyone else stays still.
They did get rid of that shit in Arizona though, which is fucking dude. Like
most everywhere's gotten rid of it.
Crazy.
It's just it's wild.
It's unnecessary.
Your boy's gonna start a change.org petition. No more daylight savings.
No more daylight savings time. We do not need it.
No, that's just gotta go. All right, boys. Well, it's episode 108 of
we gotta talk about basketball.
NBA. I'm your host, Jay Quiles, coming to you from chilly Chicago, Illinois today, wearing my cardigan because it's cold. Also here in the cold, just recently worked out and shaved up, looking like a cop. Introduce yourself, sir.
Yo, what's up? It's Rod Favre. It's Tad, a.k.a. Rod Farva.
Very nice.
It's not a basketball pun, but pretty fitting given this fucking pretty glorious mustache.
It's a good one.
It's growing on me. It's
growing on me.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
I think you made that joke last week.
I did.
He did.
I said it's growing on Lauren, and it's literally growing on me.
He's getting more clever with the mustache. All right, and from the West Coast, recently confirmed he is now a bitch. He can't handle the cold anymore. Introduce yourself, sir.
I legit. I'm wearing a fucking flannel and it's 50 right now.
You're a bitch.
Nikki Quiles, aka John Witherspoon. R.I.P. bud. Pops.
R.I.P. dude.
Oh,
R.I.P. Pops.
Number one,
R.I.P.
dude.
Granddad.
Damn.
Pops the best.
Well, this is
legitimate father figure to people.
To many.
The best.
To many. I actually rode a plane with him to LA one time. Really nice guy. Didn't sit next to him.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
Spoke to him very briefly getting on the plane. He was trying to sort something out at the front desk, and really nice, very, very nice guy.
How come every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen? No, the chicken. Eating all the pig feet. I like me some chicken. I like me some pig feet. Such a good movie, man. That guy, he was great. He was really, truly great in everything that he was in. Fucking Barnaby Jones, man.
Amen, dude.
Yeah.
Amen. Well, this is the podcast that tries to talk about NBA shit. Mostly we just talk about shit. Just a lot of shit. Daylight Savings Time and John Witherspoon and baseball on a basketball podcast. But in any case, as I mentioned early on in the episode, we are about a week and a half into the NBA season. And it's been an interesting start to the season, guys. So I wanted to talk about a couple things that are going on in the NBA. Obviously, when it comes time to the beginning of the NBA season, it's inevitable that we are going to overreact. So, guys, I want to start by asking you, a week and a half into the NBA season, who has impressed you the most, NBA player-wise? Nikki, let's start with you.
Player-wise?
Player-wise,
I think I'm going to have to say Karl Anthony Towns. He's kind of helping them do very good. 3-0. I know they're playing the Sixers right now. I don't know what that score is, but I know he's been playing very well. The team as a whole is surprisingly doing good. Like I said, 3-0 to start the season. I don't think it'll last, but it's been a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, he's crushing it this year. He's already top. I mean, granted, again, week and a half into the season, but he's already at 32 and 13. He's top 3 in scoring, top 3 in rebounding. Player efficiency is like 24.6. He is playing really, really well. Got like a 9.3 plus minus, and it's just like he's still not a great defensive player, but he's starting to like fit into Ryan Saunders' defensive scheme. And honestly, like that team has not been as terrible thus far as we had expected them to be, and have won some games that like on paper they probably should have lost. So yeah, I agree with you, Nikki. I mean, Karl-Anthony Towns, everybody knows, like in the right situation, like he was lauded as like the next Tim Duncan. Like he is a very, very talented guy, and if they can build a team around him, like look out, like for real.
Yeah.
Tad, anything to say on Karl-Anthony Towns?
Yeah, I mean, he's playing great. Like the Timberwolves are 3-0, and they're doing it on the back of him. I mean,
right.
like, yeah, but I don't know what you want me to say. He's like, he's up there in points. He's not far behind the top 5 in rebounds. He's playing good defense, which
surprisingly,
honestly, can't believe I just said that out loud. But I mean, he is. He's playing good defense. He looks. Maybe Tibbs and Jimmy Butler were the problem.
It's quite possible.
We're 3 or 4 games into the season. I understand. Like that's I know that's a hot take, but maybe. I mean, we'll see. It's early. You never bank on anything early.
The first 2 weeks of the NBA season is hot take city.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right. Absolutely. Tad, same question, sir. A week and a half into the NBA season, which NBA player has impressed you the most?
Yeah, so I actually made a note about this. I took my own sort of show notes from the rundown, and I made notes for myself to talk about this. And this is a dark horse that I don't think anybody's going to think of. Malcolm Brogdon.
Interesting.
He's been so good.
Interesting.
Averages about 25 a game. Averaging 11 assists per game.
Yeah.
He has been phenomenal.
I think 3 steals too.
He has been phenomenal. He had 22, 30, and 15 in his most recent games. I mean, like he's making plays. Like it's amazing to see what this guy can do when he can be sort of it'll be interesting. Like Oladipo comes back, like what happens, but like he's a playmaker. Yeah. Like he was really just a shooter in Milwaukee. Yeah. I've just been super impressed. He's playing great. I mean, he's scoring well. He's shooting, the ball a little over 45% from the floor. Like his efficiency rating is good. His advanced stats are all good. Like, I mean, who knows if he'll be able to keep this up? But through 3 or 4 games, like, yeah, amazing.
Yeah, it's interesting because, like, to your point, this was not his role in Milwaukee, and justifiably so. I mean, you got Giannis, like Chris Middleton, Eric Bledsoe, a lot of guys who need the ball, and he was effectively like the ball handler and defensive stopper, and a guy who could knock down the occasional 3. Sure. And now, because Victor Oladipo is still injured, and who knows how long he's going to be out, he's now slotted into this role, almost like Victor Oladipo was when he came over to Indiana to some extent, where like he's got the majority of the ball handling requirements and responsibilities. And like, I mean, he's, to your point, he's been very efficient and, shooting 44% from 3 right thus far. And like, granted, it's not going to maintain, but like he's been a good, but he's been a good 3-point shooter his entire career. So like, I've been really impressed with him. And honestly, if Victor Oladipo, it takes too long to come back. Like if Victor Oladipo misses the first 25 to 30 games of the NBA season, like, because the East is not that deep, it's not crazy to think that Malcolm Brogdon could be like fighting for an all-star spot. It's very, very possible.
All I'm saying is I was high on the Clippers during our preview, the Pacers. Sorry. Sure. Yeah. I was high on the Pacers during our preview. And also like the thing is too, you have, sometimes you're like, oh, like, the superstar comes back. Can he coexist with the guy who's like, sort of elevated his game in his absence? And the thing is, Malcolm Brogdon's played off the ball his entire career. Like that'll be a super easy adjustment.
Yeah. I also think like with this, first of all, like you can kind of see when he played with the Bucks, like there was a potential for him to be something like a bigger deal on us if he had a starting spot. But because if he started, Giannis is definitely the playmaker in that situation. You didn't see it as often, but you could see it sometimes with like the second unit. And so when I was watching the game against the Pistons that they played, like you could tell, I could also see maybe them running like a 2-guard set, like doing plays based off of who's coming down the court with him and once Oladipo gets back. I think that's going to be like a real fun backcourt. I'm fucking so proud of him, like a dad, although he's only like 4 years younger than me. No, 2 years.
Yeah, he's almost 27.
Yeah, I was gonna say
he turns 27 in like a month.
Yeah, he entered the NBA.
I turned 29 a week from today, so that's
all right. That's exciting. I turned 29 like 2 months from now, 2.5 months.
Oh, you guys are cute. I'll say this: my player thus far, probably not going to surprise a lot of people. Trae Young. Yeah. Oh my God, dude.
So here's what I'll say about Trae Young. I don't disagree with it. I think this is a fine take. The reason I'm not picking Trae Young is because I think after how he played last season, I think we were sort of kind of maybe not to the level that he's played, but like I think we've expected him to be very good. I am really disappointed that Orlando wasn't able to get it.
Yeah. That would have been a nice pickup for Orlando. Looking back on it, like that changes the trajectory of that entire franchise. Like
very quickly.
Really. He has been incredible this season. Now, unfortunately, he did go down with an ankle injury last night. It appears that he's only going to miss about 2 weeks. He didn't it was a sprain. He didn't break anything, no ligaments damage. So, fingers crossed, speedy recovery. That team has been sneaky fun to watch only because of Trae Young. I mean, in his first 2 games of the season, he had 39 points. I think it was 8 assists and like 7 rebounds, and then 39 points, 7 assists, and 8 rebounds. Like, he has been incredible this season.
Real good.
Just shooting lights out, 50% from 3, shooting a lot of the shots that he shot in college where we were like, whoa. Like the Steph Curry range type threes.
Hey, it's called Jimmer Fredette range. Okay?
Sure. when it's done in college. Like the floaters on point. Look, he sucks at defense and there's no getting around that. But
but so does Steph Curry's a terrible defender.
Totally. What's really interesting about Trae Young though is that Trae Young is not only an amazing scorer, but he is a phenomenal playmaker.
Yeah.
Passer. He is high end in that category. And if he's able to come back in 2 weeks pretty quickly, he's a lock for me as an all-star this year in the East. Like,
there's a reason
for sure.
I was not so quick to sort of poo-poo him when he came out of college like a lot of people were, because that Oklahoma team he played on was so fucking bad.
Terrible.
If you actually watch their games, he would hit guys wide open in the hands and they would drop the ball. So I'm not surprised that he's out here making plays. I also just want to quickly, we're talking about Trae Young, obviously Atlanta Hawks. I don't know if you guys saw Vince Young get defeated by old Father Time the other night, or Vince Carter. God,
did it again. You did it again.
I was looking at Trae Young on the screen. Okay. You know what? God damn it. Vince Carter.
All right.
I mean, Vince Young's a guy that wishes he could turn back time too.
Totally. I think that guy's coaching high school football now.
I don't know if you saw, but Vince Carter drove the lane and he went up to like posterize somebody and he took off and it was like, oh shit, I can't make it.
I'm not making it.
And he scored. It was like a little like sort of pseudo floater thing.
Oh, for sure.
But it was sad to see. It was like I was watching it and I was like, oh, Vince Young's gonna posterize somebody. Like he's just turning back the clock one time. And, like you could just see it was like, nope, he ain't getting there.
Yes.
Did you say Young again?
Yeah, probably.
Oh God.
I've only been watching basketball for 20 fucking years. And
long time, dude. Long time. I will say this honorable mention: Derrick Rose has been playing really well for the Detroit Pistons.
So fucking good.
I'm happy to see it.
Can we look at his stats really quick? I think
we'll pull up his numbers.
Or something like that.
He's up there, dude. He might even be up at like 25, to be honest. Now, granted, again, week and a half into the season, but like, look, we know what Derrick Rose is. He's not going to get to the free throw line, but he will get his points and he gets to the basket at will. easily. He's not a very efficient player, but he does. He's another guy who, like, if this production keeps up, he's playing a lot of meaningful minutes for that Pistons team. He's another guy who could make the All-Star team this year, and that'd be cool to see. But yeah, I mean, he has been quite solid this year. I think he's shooting like 55% from three already, or maybe that's just from the field and 50% from three. But like, yeah, I mean, he is. He scored 85 points or 86 points this season already. Sorry, my internet is.
I thought you were about to say in a game.
Super
Like,
slow. No.
Do you?
No. Okay, so like 21, 2 and 5. Not bad. His plus minus is not great, but also the Pistons are not great.
Pistons are bad.
Yeah, he's 50 from 3, 54, pretty much 55 from the field.
Sure.
93 free throw.
Like, now, granted,
he's bad.
He's averaging 0.5 attempts per game as far as 3-pointers. So.
Oh yeah, he doesn't shoot threes very often.
Yeah, not like last year. Last year he shot really well from three. So I'm surprised he's not shooting as much this year. But last year was the best.
Probably, in all honesty.
Yeah, but the numbers though, like he put up like 3 3-pointers a game, shot 37% from three last year. So he was definitely one of the top 3-point shooters in the league last year, which is crazy to hear when you think about Derrick Rose. Let's talk about the opposite of this, guys. Let's talk about who this season thus far has been the most disappointing player for you. Tad, let's start with you. Do you have something?
Go ahead.
I mean, homer pick, Aaron Gordon.
Okay, let's hear it.
I mean, he's rebounding the ball well, and that's about all that he's doing. He hasn't scored well. His defense has been not great. He's been he looks like rookie year Aaron Gordon right now.
Yeah, you don't want to see that.
It is early. The Magic have only played 3 games. We did lose to the Raptors on a night where Fred VanVleet shot like he did in the finals. And we lost the other night to I watched that game. I can't remember who we lost to. Nobody good. But he is really struggling.
Yeah, it's rough right now. I mean, 29% from the field.
He has been terrible. I mean, his plus minus, he's -9. Right? Where's the stat? Where's the plus minus?
Right there.
He's -9.
It's not good.
I was looking at
not very good.
Today. I mean, like you look at like his stats from, look at like his rookie year. I mean, this is his worst. I mean, granted, it's early.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, the numbers are not good.
It's not been good this year. He's
grabbing 5 rebounds a game. He's got 5 boards and 4 assists. Like, I mean, it's really, really bad. He's playing like shit. I don't expect this to continue. The Orlando as a whole is struggling a little bit. Playing good defense, we're just not scoring the basketball. So am I concerned? No, but I've been pretty disappointed with him so far in a year where I think a lot of probably just Orlando fans, because let's be real, we're the only ones that pay attention to the guy. A lot of us fully expected him to kind of take a huge leap. He hasn't been great. I
agree. And the numbers speak pretty damn loudly about that. He has not been great. And to your point, Ted, like he is an integral part of this team, and as he goes, so go the Magic. In a lot of ways, I mean, look, they're 1 and 2, 3 games in. It's still very early, but from a guy who's supposed to be a linchpin for that team, not the type of production you want to see.
No, it's simply got to be better.
Yeah, I agree with that, Nikki. I
wouldn't if we had another like true scorer.
Totally.
It wouldn't be that bad because it's like we have somebody, but he is really. I mean, Vooch is a good scoring player, but he's a big Aaron Gordon plays on the wing like he's a guy you got to make plays. So, I expect him to pick it up. But we'll see.
Nikki, who's your guy? Who's your I'm disappointed in this guy so far guy this season?
It might be.
Yours, but sorry, Nikki. I keep fucking interrupting you. I'm sorry.
Oh wait, were you saying mine or Jay's?
No, I think I know Jay's.
Oh, okay. We'll wait for that one then. I thought you were gonna guess mine. I was like, damn, okay. But no, mine I think is D'Angelo Russell. I don't think. I mean, the Warriors as a whole haven't been playing good. Were they 1 and 2? And the one win that they had was against. Who was it that they They were a terrible team.
Okay, OKC. They beat OKC.
OKC. No, they did.
Oh no, it was New Orleans. New Orleans. They dropped 141 on New Orleans.
Yeah, OKC is the one who was up like 57-30 or something. No, worse than that at halftime.
Yeah, not great.
What that score was. But yeah, they kicked the shit out of them. But I don't know. I just haven't. I thought him and Steph were gonna like really meld together, and from what I've watched from the games, it doesn't seem like it's going that well. I don't know. Not really a fan of what he's been up to.
Yeah, I mean he's been fine. I mean he's putting up numbers, but like that whole, to your point, like, and we can get to this probably in the next part of the conversation, but like the team's been bad. Like I was not high on the Warriors coming into the season.
They're terrible.
They're not bad. And remember,
they're terrible.
If the listeners remember when we did the Western Conference preview, I said, look at the depth on this team. It's non-existent. They're starting Glenn Robinson III at small forward. It's not good. It's not good. Let me pull up D'Angelo's numbers. I mean, look, you know what you're getting out of D'Angelo Russell. You are getting a guy who is putting up points.
I was looking at their roster, I think before they played their most recent game, and he is shooting under 40% from the floor. Last that I saw, he very well could have increased that in their most recent.
I mean, it's 16.7,
16.26. That's not.
But his efficiency is so.
Look at his plus minus
38.3% from the floor.
Yeah, minus 15.
Look at that plus minus minus 15.
That's where he's worse than Aaron Gordon.
Yeah, I mean that's what you expect from a guy who's like his defensive rating is like what 125. I mean it's the worst of his career thus far. His net rating is negative 24.
Really bad.
It's just look, you know what you're gonna get from that guy. It's gonna take a while for them to mold together. He's not Clay.
It's just because. No, I know that, but it's just because like he did such a good job last season.
Totally.
Like right off the bat. So I thought he was going to continue. No, it's not looking good.
It's not great. It's not great. And again, we can probably get into this a little bit more when we talk about the teams. But that Golden State team is there was work to be done. My guy. So look, Nikola Jokic is a very good basketball player.
I knew it.
There's no question about that.
You didn't even let me guess. I knew it.
I
poo-pooed him during the preview. I knew it was going to be him.
Listen, man. I said my piece, okay? I felt that Nikola Jokic, and granted, his entire NBA career has been this way. He plays himself into shape, whatever. But thus far, he has not been the all-NBA player that he was last year. And look, these numbers are not bad. Listen to me. Listen to me.
Face.
Listen to me.
His face.
Listen to
the
me.
Eyes.
Look, these numbers are not bad, okay? 15 and 12, 6.5 assists, same kind of like triple-double-esque numbers that you assume that you're going to see from this guy. But his shooting numbers thus far this season are horrendous, and his turnovers are outrageous. The guy who's supposed to be the primary like playmaker / not ball handler, but the offense runs through him. He's making a lot of careless passes. I mean, overall, like he has not been, again, relative to the guys that we just talked about, this is a ridiculous statement. I'm just stating the fact that like his numbers thus far are way below.
No. That's not a ridiculous statement because you're talking about the player you've been most disappointed in.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, it's almost like he's been objectively worse than he has been in the last 3 seasons. Like he really has been. I mean, his numbers reflect that. Everything across the board reflects like a very down year in everything except for rebounds. Like he's and like I said, my biggest thing with him is like he is carelessly turning over the ball, and that is my biggest thing.
Here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to say about this. I agree the turnover numbers are bad. The shooting percentage is great. I don't disagree with you on that. Right now, I anticipated this, by the way. Right now, he has the 3rd or 4th highest usage rate on his team. He's not even their number 1 option right now. He is only using his usage rate is about 17%. Where Jamal Murray's is about 25%.
Sure.
They're 3-1. Gary Harris has a higher usage percentage than Jokic.
Totally.
They're 3-1.
Totally.
You could.
I'm not talking about the Denver Nuggets.
You wait. My point is, you're poo-pooing the guy, and he's got a lower usage rate than normal. You give him a minute, you give him a little bit of time, he'll be fine. Nuggets are good.
That's my piece. I will say this, like thus far the Nuggets have looked.
Oh, sorry, not that kind of show.
No, the Nuggets have been solid thus far. Like they're probably gonna make me eat my words. But the season's still very young. I still feel very strongly that they have too many guys that play the same exact position. But yeah, I mean, look, we're talking about you guys took two guys that were like very high on the list of like most disappointing players. I had somebody else that I wanted to throw out there, but I'm going to talk about this team shortly, so we'll talk about that soon. But yeah, I mean, look,
are we going to talk about the Kings?
There's a couple teams. There's a couple teams that I'm sure they're going to come up. But yeah, my guy is Nikola Jokic. It's been a down season thus far. That being said, we've talked about players. What about teams, guys? What team has impressed you the most at this point in the NBA season thus far? Tad, let's start with you. Team that has impressed you the most.
The Suns.
Yes! Oh, I'm so glad you said that. I was going to say that, but I'm glad you fucking said it. Tell me why, Tad. Fucking tell me why, you son of a bitch. I love it.
Okay, don't call me names. Let's talk about Liz, man. You're not even insulting me. You're insulting my mother.
Listen, you know I love Liz. More, I mean,
friend of the podcast,
mother of the podcast. I mean, come on. Let's hear it, Tad. Why do you like the Suns this season? Why have you been so impressed by them?
They're playing super good basketball.
I fucking told you.
They're playing really, really good basketball. They're moving the ball. Their offense looks fluid. They're playing good defense. Devin Booker isn't doing it all by himself. They are
Ricky Rubio surprisingly looks good.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. That's dude. I'm like speechless. They've played legitimately good basketball.
I'm telling you, dude.
I don't know that they're a playoff team, but they're good.
They're fun to watch. They're
last year's Kings.
Yes, and I also said I like Kelly Oubre on that roster. I like the pickup of Ricky Rubio because you have a real point guard now. And Monty Williams is a good NBA coach. He is a good basketball coach, and he has them playing actual basketball. They're fun. They move the ball. There's one stain on this team, and we should talk about this because it was pretty big news. DeAndre Ayton is going to miss 25 games for using a banned diuretic, which I tweeted this, but for the listeners who are unfamiliar, anytime that you hear about a guy taking a diuretic, that's usually something that's taken as an immediate response to coming off of steroids and trying to dilute that out of your system. So not sure why DeAndre Ayton is taking steroids, and he looked pretty good to start the season. Steroids, but
sounds like DeAndre is not going to play a ton of games this year.
That was pretty good. I didn't hate that.
Like DeAndre ain't gonna be playing much.
Okay.
I had to throw one bad one out there.
It was bad. It was really bad.
I had to balance it out. You know?
It was really bad. No, I agree, dude. Like, look, right now they're 7th in defensive rating. They're 12th in offensive rating. They're 14th in pace. Like, they're 11th in points per game. They're 10th in opponents' points per game. They're defending. Like, yo, James Jones, shout out, bro. You got fucking Javon Carter, who I shouted out in the Western Conference episode. In that Josh Jackson trade, he's the best player in that whole fucking trade. And he has been, because Ricky Rubio has been out, he has been a huge part of their team.
Who did you say? I lost you for a second there.
Javon Carter. Javon Carter has been a great addition to that team.
Like we all expected.
Yeah, I think I shouted that out in the Western Conference preview. You could check the fucking tape.
No, I'm not shaking my head at you. I'm shaking my head at just like the absurdity of the fact that you made that comment. And
I mean, come on,
that's
dude.
ridiculous.
I also want to say, I keep saying this. I'm going to say it again. We're 4 games in.
Totally.
Yes.
Totally. My big point is this team is fun and they're not an embarrassment in the NBA. They're 2-2. They're not going to make the playoffs, to Tad's point, but this is a fun. Yeah. I like this team, man. I fucking like this team.
How much I really love Monty Williams.
Yeah, he's the best.
I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
So good.
You know? Yeah. I mean, the team's been playing well. Like, Kelly Oubre has been good. Fucking Frank Kaminsky's been good, dude. Frank Kaminsky's averaging
4. I know, and I fucking hate that dude.
I love Frank Kaminsky. I actually
he's doing really well.
I know the girl he went to prom with. and apparently in high school he was a huge loser.
That doesn't surprise me.
Like had
Doesn't surprise me at all.
very few friends.
That doesn't surprise me a lot. I'm glad you brought that up, Tad, because if you didn't bring it up, I was going to, or somebody didn't bring it up, I was going to. But yes, the Suns have been.
The Suns have played good. I mean, they have a legitimately good offense.
Totally.
It's Monty Williams is a good coach. Monty Williams
Williams
not the head coach in New Orleans when
he was
got hurt and he turned Darren Collison and Marcus Thornton into all-stars basically. I mean, I don't think
they didn't make the team, but yeah.
Like they were winning games with those guys. They were like rookies.
Dude, well, when he was there, I mean, he had coached fucking Anthony Davis to their first playoff berth and then they fired him. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And they had a very competitive series against the Warriors. Like, I just didn't make any sense at the time. Any case,
question, just real quick, off topic. Alvin Gentry is currently the head coach for the Pelicans. Alvin Gentry once coached the Phoenix Suns. He replaced as interim head coach of the Suns. He replaced a fired Terry Porter. What is Terry Porter up to these days?
He is coaching at the University of Portland, my man.
I did not know that. Just wanted to know. Thank you for informing me.
Last I checked, and what I mean by checked is he was on a podcast that I listened to.
Nikki, you
like
can,
2 years ago.
You can give your opinion on this. I am going to be on the Google machine. Figuring out what's going on with Terry Porter. He might be dead. You don't know.
Figure it out, and he's not dead. Nikki, who has been the team that you have been most impressed with this season?
Your San Antonio Spurs.
Good call.
Oh, yes. I fucking called that. It's a bunch of above average players who know how to work together and literally the greatest coach in any sports history. Greg Popovich is the fucking man. And he has turned his team. Patty Mills is producing. DeRozan's producing.
Rudy Gay. I'm with you here, brother.
LaMarcus Aldridge, Derek White.
Derek White's been good. Dejounte Murray's been solid.
Crushing it. Like, this team is looking so good.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I want Lonnie Walker to be in more. It kind of sucks that he hasn't been able to play.
Yeah, he's not playing much at all.
No, but this Jakob Poeltl's been fun. He's not doing amazing, but he's been helpful.
He doesn't play much. I mean, he's playing enough, but he's not playing a lot. I will say this. I did say in the preview that I thought that Trey Lyles was a solid pickup. I might have been wrong on that. But otherwise, like, across the board, like, clearly getting Dejounte Murray back was a huge hit plus for them. Bryn Forbes also, like, the depth that
I texted you guys the first fucking game. Dejounte Murray's stat line. He's so good. He's like great. One of my top 5 favorite players in the NBA.
He's great, and he got extended. So shout out to Dejounte Murray. Like, definitely warranted. I remember when he came out of the draft, he was like 30th overall, and they picked him. And all the draft analysis was like, this is the exact right organization for him to be in. He's very raw. He's one of the youngest players in the draft, but he's going to play behind Tony Parker and with these guys. And when he's ready, he'll be ready. And it's clearly showing. DeMar DeRozan is not showing any signs of slowing up. I mean, granted, he's shot like basically 0 3-pointers this year, which is fine. Look, he doesn't mid-range assassin.
With this team now.
LaMarcus is still doing his thing.
Shoots more threes than he does.
They're crushing it. Yeah. They're 3-0 in the Western Conference so far. Fucking 4th in offensive rating, 16th in defensive rating, 8th in pace. Like, for a Spurs team to be that high in pace is pretty insane. I agree, man.
Pop adjust, man. Like, he's got Dejounte Murray now. Like, they don't have to slow it down. Like, Patty Mills plays a half-court game.
Right.
Dejounte Murray pushes the pace and runs the ball. Like, he knows how to adjust to the players. Yeah, Greg Popovich is the Bill Belichick of the NBA.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
They're both old, and they've won a lot of games and championships. Totally. And they did a lot with an old player, an old star player.
Totally. Yeah. Totally.
I do need to interject. Just
please.
For 1 moment.
Is Terry Porter dead?
What's he up to?
Terry Porter is dead.
Damn it. First John Witherspoon, now this.
It was a whole big thing.
Son of a bitch.
Terry Porter somehow still has a job. Terry Porter, his first year at the University of Portland, 2016 and 17, he went 11-22, 2-16 in the conference. 2017 and 18, he went 10-22 overall, 4-14 in the conference. Now, a little backslide in the overall record, but I know what you're thinking. Conference record on the uptick. Last year, the University of Portland's men's basketball team went 7-25.
Yeah.
0-16.
Oh,
Conference.
no. Oh, God. Wow.
Oh, man.
God.
Terry Porter, my favorite thing about this too is Terry Porter's NBA head coaching, Milwaukee 03-04, 41-41, 4th in Central. Milwaukee 04-05, 30-52, 5th in Central. Phoenix 08-09, 28-23, fired. Like just in the little thing, he got fired.
That's great.
So,
oh God,
we can move on. Terry Porter is a coach or NBA persona that I irrationally think about far more often than I probably should.
Clearly.
He was the guy for Mike D'Antoni.
That's true. And did not do a great job. Guys, my most impressive team thus far in the NBA season is not too far from San Antonio Spurs. It's the Dallas Mavericks, guys.
Oh, yes.
Dallas Mavericks. They are fun as fuck. And Luka's been amazing. Holy fuck.
So is Kristaps.
That KP Luka 1-2 punch is lethal, dude. Like, they are both playing really well. They're second in offensive rating right now. Not a great defensive team, but they are an offensive powerhouse thus far. I mean, you look at these numbers. Luka is dominating. Kristaps is dominating. You're getting like good production from DeLon Wright, who we forgot about in the preview. Last night, Tim Hardaway won them the game.
Right? Did we? I'm pretty sure I said something about DeLon Wright.
I might have forgotten. We might have. Maybe we did. Like Maxi Kleber is fucking great stretch for like that style of team. Dorian Finney-Smith, who is shooting the lights out, like just shooting the lights out of the ball right now, playing good defense. I love Jalen Brunson, by the way. We talked about it in the preview. Jalen Brunson is the type of backup point guard that you need on a championship team. He's got winning pedigree from his Villanova days. Like, he's exactly who you want as a backup point guard. Like Seth Curry's off to a pretty solid start thus far, shooting like 41% from three. This team is so fun and they move fast and it's fluid. And Luka is a lock for All-Star this year.
Oh, for sure.
And like,
I think Kristaps might make it too.
Oh, there's a chance there. I mean, it's a deeper West. I was listening to the Bill Simmons podcast the other day though, and they were talking about like Trae Young and Luka and like that whole thing. Like there was a lot of hoopla of like, I can't believe Atlanta didn't draft Luka. Here's the thing though, not since fucking. Well, this might be an overstatement, but like not since like Bird and Magic have two guys been so tied together in the draft in such a way and also produced at the level that these two are producing this year.
100%.
Like, look, Trae Young will probably never win an MVP, but there's a real good chance that he could win a scoring title. And Luka Doncic is a legitimate, like in the next 5 years, it's not crazy to think that Luka Doncic wins one MVP. It's not crazy to think that. He is
no
the real deal. He is so good. 3-point numbers aren't great thus far, but despite that, like fucking 25, 8 and 7 with 2.3 steals, like just destroying. Kristaps has been great, is shooting fairly well, is really, really good on the defensive end for them, like already averaging 2.5 blocks. Like this Dallas team is a lot of fun, and I think there's a real chance that these guys make the playoffs and maybe the 6th seed.
I'd like to see Kristaps grab more rebounds.
Sure.
Well, what's he got right now?
He's at like 8.
He's getting
7
by his point guard.
Right.
7 feet tall, bro.
Everybody on that team is getting out rebounded by Luka.
Yeah, he's dominating the boards, man.
Right, but Kristaps is supposed to be a superstar big man.
Yeah.
Not that he's not, but like just come on, man. Maybe grab an extra rebound or two.
I think he had a stat line where he had like 20 points and like 3 rebounds. Like you don't love to see that from a guy who's 7'3".
No,
but
that's why I was never high on Jahlil Okafor, because the guy can't fucking rebound the ball.
Sure.
Great.
Dallas has been fun. Offensively, they're incredible, and this team I think has a real shot at making the playoffs this year. And like I said, I don't think it's crazy to think they could be like the 6th seed. Like I think they could finish that high. There's some spots that are opening up in the West now that it's starting to become a little bit more evident, but in any case, that's probably a good segue. Let's talk about the teams this season that we have been super unimpressed with, that we had high hopes.
Do we all want to just kind of start off by saying the one obvious one?
I mean, the Kings. We're all fucking disappointed by the Kings. Like,
For sure.
What else do you want to say? We were all high on them during our preview, and they fucking suck.
They're bad. They're really
Luke
bad.
It's because they fired Dave Yeager.
I agree with that.
Luke Walton's a shit coach.
You're right. You're just right. Look,
not going well.
They're 30th in offensive rating. They're 27th in defensive rating. 24th in pace, which is crazy for a team that has De'Aaron Fox.
Youngest fucking backcourt.
It's crazy.
They suck. They're coaching.
Like, look,
Luke Walton should be fired right now.
I agree. Look, Luke Walton comes from
should be fired tomorrow.
Absolutely. Luke Walton comes from that Golden State Warriors tree of coaches where like they thrived on transition basketball. And granted, they also have a very fluid half court set, but Luke Walton is forcing this young team to play half court basketball. Fucking let them run. Let them run.
They gotta move.
I'm gonna gag.
It's crazy, dude. Like
gag saying this out loud, but LeVar Ball was right. Luke Walton is a shit coach.
Yeah, that is.
Oh God,
that is blasphemous. But
that is the name of the episode.
So fun to watch last year.
I agree, man. Like they've been bad. They've been really, really bad. They're not scoring now. It sucks. They lost Marvin Bagley in the first game of the season. He broke his hand. He's going to be out like 6 weeks. That sucks. That really hurts this team. But like across the board,
talent on that roster. Look at that roster.
I agree.
You tell me you can't run with Bogdanovich and Trevor.
I agree.
Wayne Dedman is a athletic as shit big man. You've got Buddy Hield, who is fast as shit. De'Aaron Fox, who's faster than shit, and Harrison Barnes, who can certainly run the floor. Dude,
yeah.
Like, look at this fucking Yogi Ferrell. Like what? Like
Yogi Ferrell.
I know he plays 6 games. My point is though, like there are a lot of young, fast, athletic fucking players on this team. What are you doing?
It's not good. It's they're not shooting well overall. Like they're not scoring.
And yes, I am mad.
Defensively, they're bad. This is a bad basketball team so far. Like I'm hoping that they can turn it around, but this is a bad basketball team thus far. Have been bitten by the injury bug, but like yes, bad basketball team. Nikki, I'm pretty sure I know who you were gonna say, but why don't you go ahead and say it?
We're going to go ahead and say the next one in the Western Conference, Golden State Warriors.
Yo, we talked about them a little bit already when we talked about D'Angelo Russell, but this team is bad.
Oh, man.
Golden State is bad, dude.
They're really bad.
Look, they had a good win the other night.
Wild.
But they are 30. They are so bad at defense. They're scoring like crazy. They're scoring like crazy.
They lost all their good defensive players.
Everybody, like
every single good defensive player they have. They're dead. The dynasty's dead.
It's bad, dude. I mean, like we talked about this a little bit earlier, but like they're starting Glenn Robinson III. They were starting Marquise Chris until recently when they decided to finally start Draymond at the 5, and some fucking guy named Eric Paschall. Anybody know this guy? Anybody know him?
No, I don't know.
He's a rookie out of Fordham.
He played at Villanova first.
I don't know who the fuck he is. He's starting for the Golden State Warriors.
I don't actually know who he is either. I just looked at the college that you have pulled up. I'm like, yeah, he played at Villanova.
It's crazy. Now we talked about this a little bit. Alec Burks not playing for them right now is definitely hurting them, and Willie Cauley-Stein not playing for them is hurting them clearly a lot. They could definitely use his defensive presence, but this team, again, they are scoring like crazy. Draymond's been putting up good numbers. Steph has been Steph. I mean, he's not shooting great from 3, but otherwise, like he has been great. D'Angelo's shooting really well from 3, but like. To the points we made earlier, like defensively and the turnovers are bad. Draymond's been fine, but the rest of this team is so bad. Like, who the fuck is Damian Lee? Who the fuck is he? I've never heard of him.
When we talked about this on the preview, and you were like, "Look at their roster." I don't know half of these players.
Who is this guy?
A lot of these players.
Who is Eric Paschall? He's playing 25 minutes a game.
He's shooting 58% of the floor.
Is that what he looks like?
Yeah.
I honestly expected a white guy.
So did
I. That's fair. I mean,
I want to say this.
Marquise Chris was playing, like Jordan Poole is playing 20 minutes a game.
I haven't watched them play.
It hasn't been fun.
I've just seen the numbers.
It is bad, dude. It's bad. It's bad.
All you have to do is look at their defensive rating. Their defensive rating is so bad. They are so bad.
Yeah.
It's a bad team.
It's wild.
It's a bad team.
Have fun with your new arena.
It makes me wonder what they're gonna do with D'Angelo Russell. Like, if this really looks shitty, they got to move him and get some pieces because this is rough. It's not pretty.
What? I'm sorry.
Send him to Minnesota.
Thank you. Yes.
What? Okay, in Minnesota, apparently their GM is dumb enough to get fleeced in a trade for D'Angelo Russell.
I think D'Angelo Russell fits very well next to. He's better than Andrew Wiggins. He's definitely a better number 2 option than Andrew Wiggins.
Not right now.
I disagree. Andrew Wiggins sucks. Andrew Wiggins had a game the other night where he scored 24 points and got 0 assists. He still sucks on defense. He's very one-dimensional. His early season scoring numbers are good, but everybody knows where this goes. We've seen this story before.
I'd rather have Jeff Teague than D'Angelo Russell.
Fair.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So I have a tie for my teams.
Hold on now.
Yes.
You can say yours. I want to be clear. The Kings were not mine. The Kings were the one that I felt like we were all going to agree on.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, that's the
yours.
one I thought we were going to agree.
One that we just got to get out of the way. So
okay.
I have my own.
Okay. What do you got,
Go
Ted?
for it.
No. You go ahead. I said you go ahead. I'll go last. I went first. The last 2 categories.
Okay. I'm hoping that my team is not your team, but
now I'm going to tell you. Oh,
it pains me to say this. The Chicago Bulls are bad at basketball.
So bad.
I called it.
They're so bad.
It.
So bad. They play no defense.
I was going to say that my most disappointing player up to this point in the season was Zach LaVine, but I wanted to keep it for this.
They are so bad. My face is red. I think this is so funny.
They are, man, this hurts to say. They're bad at everything.
They're
terrible at defense.
They got beat by the Hornets and the Knicks.
We lost to the Knicks. Oh, and by the way, many of the viewers on YouTube may have seen me rolling my eyes. We lost to the Cavaliers tonight. Things are bad.
Oh, for real?
Oh, for real, bro. We're 1-4, dude. We are 1-4. We lost to the fucking Cavaliers. We lost to the fucking Hornets. We lost to the fucking Knicks. And we almost lost to the fucking Grizzlies if it wasn't for Kobe White, who went off in the fourth quarter. Kobe White can ball. I'm just putting this out there. Kobe White's great. He's probably been the best player on the Bulls. They are so fucking trash right now. Like, everybody was like, oh, fucking Charlotte, like, went crazy from 3 in the first game. Yeah, because they had, like, 4 feet in front of them. They had 4 feet of shooting room. It's crazy. It's crazy. This team is so bad. They're turning the ball over. Like, they can't defend worse shit. Nobody's scoring. One game, Zach LaVine scoring. That's the only person. Laurie had 35 in the first game and hasn't done shit since. Everybody sucks except for Wendell Carter and fucking even Kobe White has been up and down, but he's a rookie. You expect that. This team is so fucking disappointing so far. I can't believe that I stuck my neck out for this fucking team. They are so fucking bad. They're so fucking bad. Fucking Jim Boylan should be fired. That guy fucking sucks. Dude, we've gone into the fourth quarter 4 times. 4 times we've gone into the fourth quarter with a double-digit lead, and we lost 3 of those games. I'm very sorry if I spiked the mic. I am so angered by this fucking team. They're driving me nuts. They're so bad. It's crazy. I'm sorry. I'll keep my cool. The Bulls are so fucking bad. I'm sorry. Tab, what were you going to say?
Stink.
Oh, my.
So bad. Sorry, look at my face. My face is bright red because I was trying to in my laughter noises. I didn't do a great job.
I was going to say, to continue the ball train, this means at least we'll have a good chance that we'll pick up LaMelo Ball.
Oh, fucking shoot me in the face, man. I don't want that shit.
Kobe, LaMelo, and LeVar in the shy, baby.
You know what?
It's bad, dude.
As bad as Luke Walton is, at least he's not Jim Boylan. Holy shit, this team stinks.
Yo, Otto Porter's only averaging 7 points.
Otto Porter sucks, dude.
I tried to tell you last year.
Bad.
He had one good half season. I tried to tell you last year. They stink. They're bad. The Bulls are dead. Wild. Chicago sports are dead right now. Dead.
Everything. It sucks to be in Chicago. The Bears are fucking trash. The Cubs suck. Fucking Bears are trash. Fucking unbelievable, dude. Satoransky has been a fucking no-show, dude. Fucking nothing. He was brought over to be a fucking playmaker. A playmaker. He's doing nothing. Now, I will say in his defense, like, Jim Boylan, what the fuck are you doing with these rotations, dude? What the fuck are you doing? Like, why is Chris Dunn playing these meaningful minutes in the fourth quarter? He is not a playmaker. I don't understand it. It makes no fucking sense to me.
What's more egregious than that was it? I think it was against the Knicks. Yeah, it was against the Knicks when you guys just left Luke Cornett in to just get absolutely abused for like 12 straight points.
Dude, listen. I think it's great that Luke Cornett is a good three-point shooter who is shooting 18% from three right now. That motherfucker can't defend. Get him off the fucking court. Why is he playing meaningful minutes? Like, if we're going to be this bad, then let Daniel Gafford go run and fucking block shots. He's clearly better on the defensive end, and we fucking need it. This team is so bad on the defensive end. Again, I will say as a small caveat, the one positive on the season thus far, Coby White is legit. Coby White is good. He is really good. I'm very excited about the prospects of him being the point guard of the future. But otherwise, this team fucking sucks. And they're so fucking bad. And I fucking hate watching them.
Please tell the listeners and us how you
Was that your team?
Really feel.
Was that your team, Ted?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Of course it was.
I wanted to rub your nose in it.
Motherfuck. I will say
what was the other team you were going to say, Jay?
That's why I immediately started laughing.
The other team that I was going to say was going to be Brooklyn. I've been pretty disappointed with Brooklyn.
Yeah. They've been kind of bold.
Well, Kyrie Irving is a lunatic.
I want to say something because some news came out yesterday that things are not great in Brooklyn. They're already worried about Kyrie, and right away the Kyrie stands out there, which he has followers like Kobe had followers. So like people stand by him no matter what, and they're like, that's just a fucking attitude of a winner. I'm gonna say it here, and nobody said it yet. Kyrie Irving has bipolar disorder. There's no doubt in my mind that he has bipolar disorder.
I don't think he has bipolar disorder. Here's what I think.
Please.
He wrote this very detailed post on the NBA Reddit, and I was like, this actually makes a lot of sense. He is his whole life, all he's been is like the superstar basketball player. And everything was good because he's the basketball player, and he could do whatever he wanted because he was the superstar basketball player. And everybody is just sort of like bowed down to him because he's a superstar basketball player, right? Like that makes sense. And it never really mattered if the team did good because he did good. And like that was it. Like he was the star, like who cares? And I think like it has like almost to some degree like disassociated him from the real world, like where like you can't say, oh, the earth is flat and then like say like I was just messing around. Like that has real consequences. Like the things that you say, you have a platform to have, but he doesn't understand that because there's never been any consequences for anything he's ever done.
Right.
And every team he's ever played on has just been like, well, whatever. He's super good. He scores a lot of points.
Right.
He's better. So who cares? So I don't know if he has bipolar disorder. I think he's just, I think he might, if anything, he's got MPD.
I genuinely think, and I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I do.
Yeah.
I think, and I posted this on Instagram because like this NBA trainer, Chris Hyper, whatever the fuck his name is. And look, he's a good NBA trainer, like basketball trainer. That's fine. But he was like, oh, this is, people don't understand because this is like the spirit of a winner. And I'm like, how about this is somebody who clearly has a mental disorder.
He has a mental problem.
He clearly has bipolar disorder.
There's something.
And I'm not like, oh, he's crazy. Like he needs to actually talk to someone.
Like, come on.
But, exactly. And this is what I was trying to say.
He needs to talk to someone.
This is what I was trying to say is like, look, it happened in Cleveland. LeBron's not easy to play with. Fine. He goes to Boston. First year's great. Second year, terrible. This is now his third team. He's been there for, I mean, the season's only been going on for a week and a half, and it's already happening. Like, there's a common denominator here, guys. Like, Kyrie Irving, and I'm not blaming him. Bipolar disorder is a very real thing. I love many people who have suffered from bipolar disorder. It's a real thing. The manic and depressive episodes are fucking, they're bad. They're really fucking bad. And I genuinely think that like this has caused him to have the problems that he's had with a lot of these teams, is that he is he is a head case because he is a man that is in the NBA who clearly has mental health issues, who I strongly believe has bipolar disorder, undiagnosed, and it's affected his ability to have a locker room that accepts him. And he's only caused problems everywhere he goes.
Yeah. He's a locker room cancer.
I really wish that KD would step up and try to like take some of the attention away from him, but it's hard because he's not playing. Like if KD was playing, a lot of this, because if you remember, for the 3 years that LeBron and him played together, you didn't hear a lot of this shit. It didn't come out till later. And then when Kyrie became like the star of his own team, that's when shit got really bad. And it's happening again. And part of the reason why I wanted to bring out this Brooklyn Nets team is, look, they're 1-2. They played 3 games, whatever. They'll play 4 by the time this podcast comes.
And one of the losses that they had was a just missed totally buzzer beater. So
my thing with this team is like they're not. Yeah, they've played like look. The first game of the season they lost on a missed game winner, and then Kyrie had his shot blocked by Ja Morant, who super impressive by the way. Ja Morant, fucking the real deal.
Turning the ball over.
They went to.
He's a rookie. He's had the ball a lot.
They went to
turn the ball over a lot.
Sure.
Two out of their 3 games have gone in overtime.
Right.
Their game against Minnesota went to overtime.
What I mean when I say that this team has been disappointing to me is this team was really fun to watch last year. And the reason for that is this Kenny Atkinson offense was all about like it was a socialist offense, if you will. Even touches. Everybody got the ball pretty consistently. Like, yes, D'Angelo Russell definitely was their like leading scorer, but on any given day, it could have been Karis LeVert. It could have been Spencer Dinwiddie. Like, the hot hand got the ball. And when you watch these Brooklyn Nets, like, it's just Kyrie. And it's just not it's not fun to watch.
I'm going to say something that sounds absurd, but Kenny Atkinson is a coach that cannot win with a superstar player.
Okay.
If you read all the stuff about Kyrie this season where they were talking about they're talking about how like there was a team photo shoot and they asked him to take his hat off and he said Photoshop that shit off then. He like wouldn't take it off, told him to Photoshop it off. There was Kenny Atkinson has this like very like strict like player routines that he wants his players to do. Kyrie and Kevin Durant were like, nope, fuck that. And it's the thing is like he's got a good system that works when you've got young, hungry players.
Sure.
That want to do the right things. But the thing is like the problem with the NBA and a lot of these teams and these players is like they get these bloated egos, and it's like, dude, like you're not bigger than the team. I mean, the thing is like you're not gonna win like unless you are a transcendent star like LeBron. Or I don't think Kyrie's a transcendent star. Holy shit, no. Kyrie Irving does not make his teammates better. Look at Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and how they played this season. You tell me Kyrie Irving makes his teammates better.
Yeah, maybe.
No, I
how
will
bad
say
were those Cavaliers teams? Dude, I know they didn't like
that was also very early on in his career.
They were so fucking bad. They were not good until they had LeBron. Kyrie played his best basketball with LeBron, who, guess what, is a transcendent star. And he makes his teammates better.
That's fair.
Like, I mean,
That's
it's just
so he'll be good when Kevin Durant comes back.
I don't
Kevin
know if
Durant, transcendent star.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Better. Yeah, I mean, who knows? His head might have gotten too big at this point.
This
anyway,
Kyrie shit is
my
weird.
other team that I was gonna say I was disappointed in was your Orlando Magic. But guess what? Hey, unlike some teams, they beat the New York Knicks by 12 tonight. So, and Aaron Gordon had 15 and 11. We're back. All
right.
We beat the Cavaliers and the Knicks. We're back.
We're back.
Oh boy. All right. Well, I've got one more thing that I want to talk about tonight before we wrap up here, and that is the Coaches Challenge. So for the listeners who aren't familiar, this year the NBA has introduced a Coaches Challenge. Each team gets one challenge per game, and if you win that challenge, you basically get to keep a timeout. Well, you lose the timeout regardless, but no, you get to retain a timeout if you win the challenge, much like the NFL and shit like that. You lose a timeout if you use it and lose. It's been used a lot this season. Last night it was used. I want to say it was in the Denver game. Yeah, it was in the Denver game. Mm-hmm. And Mike Malone tried to use it on something that didn't happen to prove that it did. Like he tried to prove that Jokic was fouled when there was no contact. It's what are your guys' thoughts on the Coaches Challenge this early in the season? Tad, you clearly have something to say.
I'll go first. It's stupid. You
I
guys can talk
agree
about this now. I don't have anything else to say. It's
I don't. Who was asking for this?
Yeah, I didn't like it. I don't because they also tried to do it in the major leagues for a little while. Didn't really.
Oh, it's
didn't
still
like that very
happening, and
much.
it's awful.
I don't like it because it makes the game go so much slower.
Stupid.
It cuts away
It's
from the
so
pace.
bad, and
Yeah, it's
not
not
only
fun.
that, like in the first game of the season, D'Antoni used it in the first quarter. In like, pardon me, in the first game of the season, it wasn't D'Antoni. No, when I was watching the
Here's the deal. Let me just say this. While you
sorry,
think
I'm spacing out.
No, you're fine. While you say this, let me think about this. Or let me say this. The NBA is not like the NFL
Yes,
or Major League Baseball,
correct.
where there are a handful of plays that can influence the outcome of the entire game. There is not a there is very rare moments in probably the last 2 minutes to 30 seconds
Sure,
that maybe impact the game.
totally.
Outside of that, there is absolutely no reason to challenge anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Like
They're
in
real
the
pointless.
NFL, you could challenge a touchdown pass that was in the second quarter that gets called back, and the final score ends up being 7-14, and you win because that touchdown didn't count. That's
Totally.
not how. It's just simply not how basketball works. The sport is not designed for challenges.
It's
so
weird. It slows the pace of the game. The coaches have been using it very early in the game. I was saying Mike D'Antoni the other day against the Bucks, like used it within the first like 6 minutes of the game, and you only get one. So once you use it, it's gone. It doesn't refresh at halftime. You get one for the game, and it doesn't. And I haven't read enough into this as to the stipulations, but there doesn't seem to be clear like rules as to what you can or cannot challenge. Like I said, like Mike Malone challenged that there was a foul on a play when there was no foul. Like there was nothing to challenge. Actually, I think he was, if I remember correctly, he was actually challenging to prove that there was not or was a foul. No, was not a foul. Pardon me. Was not. It doesn't matter. That being said, it's weird. I don't clearly somebody was asking for this. That's why this exists. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Look, we'll see it. It could change a playoff game, and maybe if you're on the winning side of that, that's super exciting. But like, I don't love it so far. I don't know. I don't understand it.
At this rate, just fucking review every play. Review all scoring plays like they do in the NFL.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Stupid.
Fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It's way too much.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
weird. I think it's dumb as hell. As soon as they announced it, I was like, oh, what's the point of that? It's gonna be boring as shit having to have that. I mean, just one is not that big a deal, and not everyone uses them, but like, it's so dumb. I just hope they end up getting rid of it.
I agree.
Jay, can you do me one quick favor?
Hit me.
You see that white guy on the screen? What is that? I knew
Mark
it was Mark Price.
Mark Price.
I tried to click on it like it was my own screen. I forgot you were sharing.
Yeah, I was wondering who it was too. I was like, who the fuck is that guy?
All right, boys. Let's close out tonight's episode with one hot take apiece. Rapid fire. Major overreaction right now. Nikki, go.
Kendrick Nunn is gonna make it to the All-Star team this year.
Oh,
Miami Heat.
That's a ridiculous statement, but I really like Kendrick Nunn, and that Miami Heat team is much better than I thought they were going to be. Kendrick
Way
Nunn,
better than I expected.
Kendrick Nunn, pride of Chicago, from Simeon, went to U of I, unfortunately transferred to Oakland, but former Simeon Wolverine, putting it out there.
And you already said mine. Derrick Rose is making the All-Star team for sure.
Okay.
And he is. I fucking called it. He is winning the 6-man.
Yo, that Detroit team sucks. I called it when the season went during our preview. If there's no Blake Griffin, there's no Detroit Pistons. That team fucking sucks. They're bad.
They're 2-2.
Yeah. Well, was it?
They're bad. They're bad.
I almost said Cornette. What's the other K?
Kennard.
Thank you.
He's been solid.
He's playing surprisingly well.
Tad,
Drummond's averaging like 20 rebounds.
One major overreaction a week and a half into the season. What you got?
It's tough. I've got a couple, so let me just think. Golden State Warriors.
Fire them all off. Yeah, for sure. Agree.
Is that a hot take? They're not good.
I don't. Is that an over? Yeah. I think a lot of people
probably.
I think that's pretty.
I think it's an.
Actually, I've got a
but
good
I think
one. I've got an actual hot take.
All right, let's hear it.
Chicago Bulls finished dead last in the Eastern Conference.
Oh no! Please don't. Don't do that to me. You know what? Honestly, that's fine. Whatever. Keep loading up on talent. Fuck it, man.
Hey, real quick, what was this I heard?
Is that what you're calling the players that you have on your roster?
Young, promising players.
Start loading up on talent, or are you going to keep loading up on talent?
Yeah,
I'm going to come to this fucking screen and punch you right in your nose.
You know where I live? No, you don't. I moved.
No, I don't.
Shit. I saw a rumor that Bol was going to get traded to the Bulls. That's bullshit, right?
Yeah, that's fake. That's fake news, bro. All right.
Bullshit.
Major overreaction on my end. Toronto's making it back to the NBA Finals, guys. There is something in the water over there. Pascal Siakam has been really good, and Kyle Lowry also really good. There's something. Yeah, I mean,
I told you.
There's something about this Pascal Siakam season thus far. Early into the game against New Orleans, I was like, he's not going to be able to hack it this year. He doesn't have it. And he quickly turned that around, won them that game. They're, again, very good on defense. He has gotten better shooting from three. Yep. They're 16th in offense. Like, this team is deep, arguably deeper than they were last year. I mean, this team is good. They're still good. I mean, without,
when is Kyle Lowry gonna be bad? I just keep waiting for it.
It's shocking.
Never. He's the new ageless wonder.
22 a game, fucking 7 assists, a steal, and 5 rebounds, shooting 37% from three. Fred VanVleet, 18, shooting 41%. Pascal Siakam shooting 43% from three. 20. OG Anunoby has a jump shot. He's shooting fucking 44% from three. Now, again, a lot of these numbers aren't like, look, people will, yeah. It's fine. Like, you know, there's going to be a means, like they're going to come to what they're actually going to be. But like, this is a good basketball team. It wouldn't be crazy to me if they finished the end of the season again in the finals.
I don't disagree with you at all. I think there's a valid argument to be made. I don't think it's going to happen, but I shouldn't say I don't
Raptors Clippers.
I don't know right that now. It's going to. I don't know that it's going to happen, but I think it's a pretty tepid take. If I'm being honest. You want a hot take? I'll give you another one. I had a couple.
All right. Go ahead.
Go for it. Shoot it.
MVP.
Who?
Luka.
Ooh.
Luka.
Man, I like Luka, but they got to finish like top 3 for that to happen.
They got to finish top 5.
I disagree. Not in the West. You got to finish top 3 if he's going to win MVP. He's got to.
I guess there's only one thing left to do then. Win the whole fucking thing.
Oh, right. And with that, I think that's probably good for today's episode, guys. Unless you have anything else you want to cover, I think
a little over time, huh?
A little bit more than we wanted to, but you know, we're trying out a new formula. We're trying. I may have led to a longer episode with my rant. I tried not to. I tried real hard not to.
It was like 15 minutes.
I was just very angry. Yeah. Cool, guys. Why don't we plug and let's get out of here.
Follow me on Twitter at @TadHall_.
There we go. Nikki, let's
follow me at Nikki Palooza.
All right. You can follow me at J_Quiles on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can follow NBA at NBA Pod on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Also, make sure and check out the YouTube channel. It's NBA Podcast on YouTube. You can follow us there. We've been recording episodes, putting them up there. We did our Eastern Conference and Western Conference preview. If you still want to check those out, please don't forget to give the podcast a 5-star rating and review. We'd greatly appreciate it. If you're watching this on YouTube, give us a like, give us a subscribe, comment below, let us know what you think. Do you like my sweater?
Don't comment. Good God, don't comment. YouTube comments.
Comment. I want to hear it. I want to know. I'm the only person that looks at it anyways. All right. Well, for Tad, for Nikki, for Jay, this has been NBA, and we're out.
Bye.